Hey, I'm Chris from Make Everything, and today I'm going to show you how I fixed my Wen Bandsaw and kept the blade from constantly popping off, which is a really common problem with these. Check it out. So this is the problem with this bandsaw. I've had this thing for like a year and a half, and just up until the last couple months, it's been perfect. Now, for some reason, anytime I go to make a cut, the blade flies off. It's been driving me absolutely insane because this is a really useful and heavily used piece of equipment in my shop. So instead of just smashing it with a sledgehammer, which is what I've wanted to do every single time that happens, I'm gonna try and fix it. So let's give it a shot. So maybe the issue has something to do with the camber on this wheel. So this wheel looks like it can be cambered back, and maybe it's just not cambered back enough. If you look right here, there's an adjustment that's keeping this thing stood off. So let me try and adjust that way. Maybe that'll just solve the problem right there. So here's something interesting on this, and I didn't realize. So on the other side of this plate is a sticker that tells you which way to turn this knob to adjust the blade tension. And I was thinking while I was messing with this thing is, how come I can't adjust the pitch of this wheel? And I threw the manual for this thing out the day I got it, so I have no idea where that is. But I'm realizing now that I could adjust the pitch without taking this wheel apart by just removing this stupid sticker or cutting it out with a knife, and then I could adjust this pitch while the machine is running and fix all my issues. So this stupid sticker, this is the problem. This right here, this thing's got to go. So now this sticker is gone, and I should be able to adjust this thing way easier. So I'm going to leave these screws on for now, just because I know it's going to be a pain to fish them through. I don't think they would actually fit. So this thing is reverse thread? No, it's regular thread. So this needs to go on there like that, and then I just kind of carefully need to put in the plates that keep this guide bar in place. And then hopefully by adjusting this pitch, it fixes my problem. Okay, so I've got this thing cammed back pretty far. It's a little extreme, but if you noticed on the back side of these wheels, there's a little casting that keeps the blade from popping off of them going backwards. And on top of that, there is a bearing in here too, which will keep the blade from going backwards under pressure. So while it seems a little extreme, I know now that this thing is going to wear back in. The only thing I do want to add is I want to add this bolt back in. I almost forgot. Put this back in and do a test cut. I don't know, dude. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Since this is clearly not working, I think the solution here is based off something that my friend Kevin Lazat did. He drilled and tapped 4 screws into this. I'm going to just make a little plate and just add a plate to this and see if that's enough resistance to keep the blade from popping off. I think it's just a little bit. I think he has, like I said, 4 screws, and that seems to be working well for him. But I think a 16 gauge or an 18 gauge steel plate on there with a hole in the center just to act as like a big dishwasher will be good. And what I'm seeing here is by putting a flat edge on that, it gives me a little bit of a standoff here. I think that's enough of a standoff to allow the teeth somewhere to go. And hopefully that does it. Eventually it might cut through that piece, but I think by making it 16 gauge, it'll be thick enough that it'll help. So let's fab those up. Let's see if this does the trick. All right, so here's what we learned. It's not just the top wheel, it's also the bottom wheel. So let's fix the bottom wheel now. Why am I taking this wheel off? There's no reason to take this wheel off. No reason. Total waste of time. Okay, so now I've got 2 guide wheels. This one on the bottom is just collecting the blade. Hopefully that's enough. Keep it from popping off. Let's find out. And I can hear it rubbing a little bit, but it'll wear itself in. I think I did it. And again, I can hear it rubbing down there, but I don't think that matters because it's just going to wear itself in over time. Let's make a couple cuts. Okay, so after putting these metal discs on there, these kind of washers, the thing seems to be working okay. The blade hasn't popped off. I've made 10 or 20 cuts. You know, the true task will be if they wear in, if the blade cuts through them. But for now, I think it's going to work. Overall, this is a pretty simple thing to do. If you've got a way to cut a piece of sheet metal, you could use a jigsaw, in my case, the bandsaw, and just drill a couple of holes, and that would really solve your problem. Taking off the bottom wheel is completely unnecessary. I don't know why I did it. And that's really it. Like I said, this thing worked really well for me for like a year and a half before this started to happen. So don't take my experience as any sort of a review of this saw. Aside from this issue, it's been fantastic for a year and a half. It's like $250. And for what it does, it's really, really great. Hopefully this is just something that came over with time, and you know, this will resolve it and I won't have to think about it again. It did take a little bit of work, but at the end I think it was worth it. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at MakeEverythingShop. If you like this video, you want to see more kind of tool mods and stuff I do, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks.